Hi guys, good morning. Hi Brandon Lee Taylor. Oh, I'm excited to meet you one day. Hi Karina. Hi Zeke. Boker Tov. Hi Ray. Hi Irma. Hey Aleph. Shalom. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds. Footprints in Paradise. Is that Miss Rosemary? Hi Betty. Boker Tov. Hi Steve. Oh wow. Okay, we got the whole team. Okay, today's a big one, you guys. We're going deep into the order of emanation. And it's funny because as I teach it to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I thought I understood it, but I didn't. And I'm finding that that's how it goes with a lot of the teachings of Rabbi Yirah. You thought you understood it the first few times and you didn't. Even now, as I'm going to read it to you guys today, I'm really not understanding it to the level that I want to, but that's the confusion of the mind that the letters will illuminate one day soon, hopefully. I want to play for you 3 parts of the corresponding video to this class as a preface, as a foundation. Listen for the concept, listen for the overarching concept, and then don't worry about the details as much because they'll fill in as you listen more and more. Like I've listened to this video like 4 or 5 times already. I've listened to it with him showing it on his Elon. I've listened to it with my eyes closed. I've listened to it a bunch of different ways to try to absorb the information because literally every single sentence, you could just linger on every sentence and absorb it because it contains so much information. So don't get overwhelmed. Take in what you can today. It's light, it's information, it's Torah. So let it just sink into your soul. Your soul is enjoying every second of it, even as your mind is frustrated. So just listen. And I find that when you are not in a state of frustration, more information goes in. So just listen in a state of peace. Let's go right away to this video. It's called Above the Reuniting. There's 2 parts to it. I'm going to play some parts of part 1. Let me just see what minutes I wanted to go to. Okay, we're going to start out at minute 16. Irma, thank you. Hit the like button. Okay, above the Reuniting, share. Okay, we're going to 16. Just to preface this a little bit, Yirah went up to, he knows how to travel when he sleeps. He knows how to access the upper worlds, the upper yeshivot. So he had a question for the Arizal, and he was able to fall asleep with a question in his mind and invite the neshama of Arizal into conversation with him. So this video is the product of that conversation.
Now we will discuss the lights and the phase of Zerayim Ibor when they first emerged from the womb. This particular portion in chapter 2 is one of the examples of why I said that the Arizal did not reveal the fullness of the matter because he did not have enough time. He was only able to teach Chaim Vital for roughly a year, and indeed he faithfully recorded the teachings, but the fullness of the matter was not revealed, and it is not until this video right now and this mystery that I am about to reveal for the first time ever that it will finally be restored, the root of where the Arizal had learned this great supernal mystery from. I ascended into the highest yeshivot and pondered this very passage I am about to read and discoursed with the privilege and honor the Arizal, and it was made known the root of this matter, and I will explain it here. He mentions, the aspect of the sparks needs a broader explanation. It relates to the discourse of the 288 sparks that we explained above. There we explained that the 288 were the four names of 72, 63, 45, and 52. There were 72 sparks from each one. This is the secret of the verse, and the spirit of Elohim vibrated above the waters. Varuach Elohim Merokefet. The word Merokefet, the Arizal explains the following. The word hovered, or Merokefet, spelled Mem Resh Chet Fe Tav. These letters can be rearranged to form two words, an example, the word for died, Mem Tav, and the number 288, an example, Resh Fe Chet. Thus we learn that the word Merokefet indicates and can be read as 288 sparks died, or an example, they descended. These are referring to the lights of the 72 name, 63 name, the 45 name, and 52 name. And at the time in which it took place, everything was in the aspect of the lights of Ima. Thus it says, Varuach Elohim Merokefet, because everything was in the aspect of those 32 Elohims. The lights of 72, 63, 45, and 52, which at this point were in the levels of Chokmah, Bina, and Da'as of Ima, began to descend as it was explained. Now the first three, which were 72, 63, and 45, were in Zerainpin. The aspect of Chesed was 72, Gevurah was 63, and Tifres with Netzach, Hod, and Yisod were 45. Thus the 72 name descended from Chokmah into Chesed, the 45 descended from Da'as into Tiferes, and the 63 descended into Gevurah.
Okay, so this is a taste of what we're going to be reading today. I want to skip forward to minute 23.
When the lights began to emerge, they emerged in the secret of the Miluim, because the first person to be mentioned outside of the garden is Chawa, Eve. Chawa has a numerical value of 19. Chet is 8, Vav is 6, and He is 5, because she took the lights and is the lights of the 45 name, being 19, as it was explained. Now again, this matter that I'm revealing here is not mentioned in Eitz Chaim nor any other Kabbalistic Sefer ever. The next were the lights of 46 and 37. 46 from 72 is the numerical value of the word Cain in the ordinal. Cain's ordinal value is 46. And because of this, he is the lights from the Netzach that descended into Zerainpin. And Hevel has a numerical value of 37 because he is the lights of the Milui of the 63 name. The Arizal was drawing down these sublime understandings through the Torah itself. It was the Torah that revealed. Again, he now mentions that the lights of 46, 37, and 19 descended. And he mentions that 19 from 45 came out first. This hints to Chawa, or Eve. This is why she's called the mother of the living, Chai, because Chai, living, is a name attributed to the Sefirah of Yisod. Again, Cain has the ordinal value of 46, hinting to the Milui of the 72 name that descended, and Hevel, 37, from the Milui, or expansion of the 63 name, because the Netzach Hod Yisad of Ima formed the Chokmah Bina Da'as of Zerainpin, as is shown here.
Okay, we're going to skip to one more part.
With all of these things, we've concluded our explanations for the secret of Ibur. Next, we will explain Zerainpin when he was emanating the aspects of Yanuka, and finally, when he was in the aspect of godless. It cannot be understated the importance of the revelations that are revealed inside of this video today. It reunites the Arizal's teachings with the Torah. It brings reconciliation to the extraordinarily cryptic teachings that are laid down in Eitz Chaim. They are not divorced or separated from the Torah. They are the very mysteries of the Torah themselves. It is precisely these levels which describe the emanations of the upper worlds and Partzufim that are studied in the world to come, the Olam Haba. And yet, still in spite of all of these amazing deep complexities regarding emanations of Partzufim, etc., 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 the light of the endless and its beautiful simplicity above all of those things, Aleph separates him from Shin, etc., is what will redeem us all.
Okay, so a few things I just wanted to reiterate from what we just listened to. The ending is really important because Rabbeinu brings it back to the Aleph Mem Shin, the simplicity. If you feel yourself getting bogged down in the Lurianic, just remember the Lurianic is a shell to what's inside of it, which is the Torah of Atzilus. And the Torah of Atzilus is simple. It's your body, it's the Aleph base. So we can always come back to that to find the light of Hashem. And understanding these details of the Arizal are very exciting and exhilarating. But remember, it's not where we're headed. We're headed towards the Torah of Atzilus. So let's begin the reading. And hopefully it'll be familiar to you from what we just listened to. The overarching point of that video that Rabbi Yirah made was that to connect what the Arizal had taught to the Torah, because in his short time of teaching Reb Chaim Vital, he did not have the chance to give him those keys to connect the order of emanation of Hashem's light into the tree of life, back to the Torah, back to the story of creation. The order of emanation is the story of Hashem's light descending into the different sfirot through the different names of Hashem, but they have direct correlation to the story of Bereshis, to the story of creation. So he came back from talking to the Arizal with some more connections, some more details. So the Eitz HaChaim is not a separate book from the Torah, which it could have been conceived as before that video. What Rabbi Yirah did was hook it back in to the story of creation through different keys of miluim and numbers and gematrias. Okay, so whoever has the document, we're going to start on page 23. And the most amazing thing to me really was that he was able to travel up to the heavenly yeshivas, right? Come back with this information, have it be clear in his head. Have it be precise and concise, enough to teach it over, to give it over in a 34-minute video so clearly with different sources tying it all together. I mean, it's a masterpiece, and don't let that be lost on you. Just like Karina pointed out, the details of his artwork, his calligraphy, his Renaissance calligraphy and artwork, and all these little things that can be lost on you if you're not paying attention. The fact that he traveled up to the heavenly yeshivas is astounding. The fact that he carried the information back down in his brain and was able to concisely convey it is a miracle, is an absolute miracle. Page 23. Who's ready? Hi, Des. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Susan. Hi, Attila. Who did I forget? Hey, Sharon. Karina. I think Hiroko was here. I saw her before. Okay, let's go, you guys. They rose up and asked, "Please explain the orders of emanation." I responded, "First know that Adam was the beginning of all emanation as it is known. Adam is the keter of all things. And so when he expanded, he surrounded all things as it was stated. He could see from one end of the world to the other. Thus, the expansion of Adam is keter. Aleph Daled Mem equals haketer. And when he expanded, he emanated the Atik, which is the first and highest partsuf under him. Thus, the expansion of Adam, Fe Lamed, Lamed Mem Taf, equals Atik, and also Lamed Fe, Lamed Taf, Mem Sofit equals Atik. And it was made known to you before that Milui is the value of Mum, for there is a hidden deficiency here as the light restricted. This Adam was male and female, being Abba and Ima. A certain child, Yeled, was born afterwards, and it came from two, of and Aim, Abba and Ima. Thus, the value of Abba and Ima, of and Aim, is 44. This is the value of Yeled, child. The Beis and Mem were the back and front of Chachma, and the Aleph, Keter, was with them both. So if you remember, the front and the backs of the tree of life correspond to the Alephes. There's 11 letters on the front, 11 letters on the back. So in the socket of Chachma is Beis on the front side, Mem on the back side. So the Beis and Mem are the back and front of Chachma, and Aleph was with them both. So you have of and Aim making up those words. This is why the word Yeled Im Kolel is Yud He Vav He, the 45 name, which is the name of Zeir Anpin. That child Yeled was called Yeled Ahavhus in other places, and this meant motherhood. 45 was the lower Adam, value 45. So it was said that there is Adam and Adam. The expansion of the 45 name letters, which were that child and Adam, that child and Adam, are Yud He Vav He, which is Vav Daled Aleph, Aleph Vav Aleph. And the value of these expanded are 19, which is the same as Chava, Eve. And so she was taken from his side. The expansion letters are called Milui, and the value of the word Milui is 86, which is the same as Elohim. And so Malchus is called Elohim. Vayevarei Elohim es ha'adam b'tzelmo, b'tzelem Elohim bara oso, zachar unekeva bara osam. And created Elohim et ha'adam, in the image of him, and in the image of Elohim created he them. Male and female they were created. The Sophite letters, the ending letters, what do they spell? Emes, Mum, Meor, Ha'em. The truth is deficiencies from the light of the mother. Regarding this, the first verse said, Bara Elohim es hashamayim v'es. The ending letters, the Sophite letters say, what do they say? Emet, Mace. The truth is they died. And so the kings are discussed here because the sparks emerged and died. Page 26. The order of emanation. And no, although it has been taught that the hard spark is the skull and the secret of the 22 letters, I will reveal the higher supernal skull. And no, the surrounding endless is the secret of the 22 letters in a fixed state. And this, the surrounding endless, is likened to a white skull. Within the endless is a restriction, being the symptom, which has been made known to you, to be chachma, the chachma of the atik. However, this symptom is in truth the mind. And so chachma is the brain of the guf, and the hard spark that withdrew inside the secret of bina of the atik is thought. For the mind and thought are male and female. And so the skull, which is white, surrounds the mind, which surrounds the thought. So it is written, in the beginning when Israel arose in thought, it is known, Israel, Yisrael, is Yesh, Resh, Lamed, Aleph, the substance of 231. And this was Yesh Me'ayin, a substance from nothing. And so Ain, Ayin, is spelled Aleph, Yud, Nun, which is 231. Now between these two is the secret of the sun. And so of plus aim equals Yeled, 44, by which the surrounding endless poured in through the secret of the white light in the divine pattern, which are the 22 letters in a fixed state. And this sun, S-O-N, Yeled, which is the 22 letters, formed the word. And so the mind and thought produced the word, which is in between these two in the divine image of a man. The sun, right? The sun came in through the man and the woman. The sun, S-O-N, which is the word, was rooted in the endless that poured in. So these two are one. The sun and the word are one. And this word was rooted in a superior place. It came from a higher place than both mind and thought, than both the mother and father. Thus, when the word appeared, what happened? The divine mind and divine thought could not fully grasp it because it came from a higher place. Even so, the mind and thoughts of man do not grasp the letters, which are the word, despite being aware of the letters, and cannot ascertain the root, although using letters to think and speak. We're using them all day long. We have no idea the root of them. Being that the root of the word is above both mind, which is father, and thought, which is the mother. And I have heard Rabbi Yirah say, I've heard him say that your thoughts, which are made up of the letters, are more intimate than your breath. Other people can hear your breath. Nobody really can hear your thoughts. Your thoughts are really only between you and Hashem. And you could have 50 thoughts per breath. They're more frequent than the breath. And he said, they are more intimate than your breath. And I had never heard that before. And it's so true. It's so, so true. And if you groom your thoughts to be good, and if you groom your thoughts towards Hashem, constant conversation with Hashem, that's the best way to bring about the illumination of the mind that we are all longing for. The restoration of the illumination to the mind, to the letters. The friends became perplexed and struggled to comprehend the answers. They asked, "What is this son that you speak of called Yeled?" I responded, "It is written. What is his name? And what is his son's name?" One of them spoke up, "You speak in riddles, okay. Tell me of this rock." I responded, elementals and lifeless beings, both holy and demonic, embody the background of each environment. They themselves, being elementals, are lifeless. However, they are responsible for the environmental atmosphere experienced and are reflections of the Aleph, Mem, Shin, respectively. Each manifestation and type creating a subsequent atmosphere of its likeness. Thus, clean versus messy environments, or even the arrangements of the environment, created these elementals. We, in turn, are surrounded by these elementals and experience them as atmospheric conditions. Now, these are lifeless, therefore not to be thought of as a living entity. Continuing, we find that holy elementals, that is, angels. What are angels? They are manifested by thoughts, words, and actions that manifest the various types. In turn, a person can create, manifest, and even harness these energies. And this works with these elementals, both holy and unholy. Another asked, "You once spoke of 288 sparks and how Zeir Anpin was being emanated in stages." That's the video we saw. How Zeir Anpin was being emanated in stages throughout the entire Torah, but I don't see it. I only see the stories being spoken of, not these lights that you speak of. Another spoke up, "Please teach us of what you have said. During the initial states of conception, Ibor, of Zeir Anpin, Eitz Chaim states he took to himself lights from the 288 sparks. Of these lights, he states he took 19 from 45, and later 37 from 63, and even later 46 from 72. He explains he took 19, which was his own life force, must be first, etc. How is this to be known? And where is this found in the Torah? And this is the question that Rabbeinu Yirah went into the celestial yeshivos, hunting down the Arizal for an answer. Page 28. I replied, "Give ear, heaven and earth, listen to the words of my mouth. I will reveal what has never been spoken before." You ready? The 288 sparks. What a privilege we have, you guys. This is insane. The 288 sparks are mentioned in the word mirachefes. Baruch Elohim mirachefes al pnei hamayim, in that verse, which is Mes, Resh, Fe, Ches. The 288, Reish Fein Ches equal 288. The 288 sparks died. As it is known, everything in Bereshis is in the aspect of Beria and Ima, not higher. Everything in the creation story goes to the limit of Beria and not beyond. Now Zeir Anpin first positions the state of Ibor for the day of Adam's creation, being the 45 name. The 45 name is Zeir Anpin. Hold on, I have to look back at something. Something just clicked for me. Okay. Okay, now Zeir Anpin first positions the state of Ibor for the day of Adam's creation, being the 45 name, which is Zeir Anpin, takes place on the 6th day, which is Yesod, because Yesod is the 6th Sefira in Zeir Anpin. Netzach, Hod, and Yesod are called Tselem, image. Because it says, what is his name and what is his son's name? And what is Ma? Which is the 45 name, which is Adam. Okay, I just understood that. At this time, Zeir Anpin was in the Netzach, Hod, and Yesod of Ima. Okay, so Zeir Anpin had not come down yet. It hadn't, if you think of the image of the tree of life, Zeir Anpin is still in utero, in the Netzach, Hod, and Yesod of Ima, okay? Which is the place he conceives his brains, being Bina, Chachma, Bina, and Da'as. It is known that the Netzach, Hod, and Yesod of Ima are the place where the Chachma, Bina, and Da'as are formed. Tselem, or image, has the numerical value of 160. 160 hints to the 32 times Elohim is mentioned in Genesis. There are 5 letters to the word Elohim times 32 equals 160. 160 equals Tselem. So it's all interchangeable. For at this time, everything was still in the aspect of Ima. And Ima in general is called Elokim. So Elokim hints to Tselem. How? It's 5 times 32 Elohims mentioned in the creation story. These 32 Elohims were Ima's 10 Sefirot and 22 pathways and her tree of life. The 288 sparks are the 72 plus 63 plus 45 plus 52 in the aspect of Atzilus, which is 72. Oh, each one of those names, the 72 name, 63 name, 45 name, and 52 name, all have an aspect of Atzilus that entered into Beria. So therefore, 72 times 4 equals 288. That's where all those 288 lights derive from. The Atzilus of each of those 4 Miluis of Hashem's name, of the Yud Kei Vav Kei name. The 72 settled in Chesed. So the value of Chesed is 72. Then 63 settled in Gevura, because Gevura is called Din, which is 64, 63 Im Kolel. 45 settled into Tiferes, and then the 52 into Malchus. Each phase of Zeir Anpin takes place with a birth. Adam was called Zachar and Nukva at the time of conception, which was on the 6th day, hinted at by Tselem Elokim. The Miluim of the aforementioned 72, 63, and 45 were drawn into Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. Now the garden is the womb, and the river goes out, which is the first birth. After this first birth, the lights of 19 emerged. This was Eve, Chava. She has the value of 19, which is the Milui of 45. After this was Cain, who was the aspect of the 46, the Milui of the 72, because the ordinal value of Cain is 46. This is what he got from the Ari. These are the keys that Ari gave him. Afterward, 37 from 63 emerged, which is Hevel. At first, it was in this aspect of vessel, being Elohim, the externalities, and so it says in the image of Elohim. At first, it was in the aspect of vessel. Okay, so whenever you hear Elohim, Elohim is the externalities, it's the outer vessel. Afterwards, it was in the aspect of the internalities, the lights, the panemius. And so of Cain, it first introduces the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. It says, with the help of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. After this is Shes, Seth, or Yesod. For his name in Aramaic means 6. This is Das, which is formed by the Yesod of Ima, and its light, which is the internal aspect of Das, becomes Noach, Noah. Afterwards, the next birth occurs when Zeir Anpin enters the phase called Yanuka. Okay, it leaves Ibor, it leaves the phase of conception to go towards suckling, which is called Yanuka. And so the flood, the story of the flood. This is followed by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are all the aspects of Zeir Anpin in the next phase of Yanuka. After these things having been formed as the world of Tikkun, etc., Zeir Anpin goes through another birth and enters the third phase. We have Ibur, Yanuka, and then we have Gadlus, which is maturity. And so 70 souls enter into Egypt. And Moshe, who is Zeir Anpin in Gadlus, that's who Moshe represents. You see how he's connecting the emanatory phases to the personalities and stories in the Torah? This is what the Arizal didn't do. Moshe, who is Zeir Anpin in Gadlus, is placed in a river, birth, etc. His name indicated Elohim times 4. Which equals Moshe, 345, because Moshe is Gadlus. Much more could be said, but at this time I am not permitted to speak any further, said Rabbi Yirah. They spoke up and said, okay, we're going on to a different, that was all about the order of emanation and how it connects to the story of creation and the different characters in the Bible. and it is flawless in Gematria. And if you really want to know the details, you can go back and watch the video above the Reuniting. Each time you watch it, you'll get more and more. Okay, this is another part of the reading. Page 29, the bottom of page 29. They spoke up and said, "Tell me of this Yechida and Yirah." I explained, I replied, says Reb Yirah. Yesh me'ayin equals tohu, equals Samael Sandalphon. This yesh me'ayin, substance from nothing, is the value of Samael and Sandalphon, which is 411, which is the same value as tohu. As yesh are the fronts and backs of Yesod, the birth canal, and so the milui of yesh me'ayin, yud shin mem aleph yud nun, is the same value as Leviathan Kadmon, the primordial dragon. I would like to reveal a secret expounded upon in the heavenly yeshiva regarding Moses. It is known that Moses is the secret of the faithful shepherd. This in turn is the secret of Yirah, and their sages state that Yirah stands with the Ancient of Days, the Atik Yomen. Thus, the life of Moshe was 120 years. As the word Atik Yomin, Ancient of Days, in the ordinal, is 120. Now I will expound one last matter, and it is the secret of the name Yirah Ari. It is known that this name, Yirah Ari, is the value of Haraya Mehemana, the faithful shepherd. However, this name, Yirah Ari, is also the value of Zeh Hasod Moshe. This is the secret of Moshe. Now it is mentioned, it is written, Reshis Chachma Yiras Yud Ke Vav Ke. The beginning of Chachma, of wisdom, is the awe of Yud Ke Vav Ke. This hints to Atzilus. So Yiras Yud Ke Vav Ke is the same value as Al Atzilus, above Atzilus. It is also known that Atzilus is called by the 72 name. Now the name Yirah Ari has the ordinal value of 72, hinting to the same name. And you cannot make Gematria add up like that. You can never force Gematria. Atzilus, which is the level of sight. And so, Yirah means Re'eh Yud. See Yud, which is Atzilus. Yud is Atzilus. One of them asked, and Yechida? I replied, the milui of Yechida, Yud Ches Yud Dalad Hey. Is the same value as Hine Zayira Hu Adam Di Atzilus. Another said, please share with us more. Let me just translate that. Behold, this is Yirah. He is the man of Atzilus. It's astounding. It's astounding. Another said, please share with us more. I replied, the parable of the bridgemaker by Rav Gasher. There was a city. Malachi's here? Hey, Malachi. There was a city that fell into disrepair. The inhabitants were very sick, and disease was rampant. The bridge that connected this city to other cities was in ruins, and so no medicine and ointment could enter. A bridge maker saw that the inhabitants of the city would perish if they would not receive medicine and ointment. So what did he do? He began to build a bridge. However, the bridge was tremendous, and the bridge maker only had limited tools to make the bridge. He built and began the bridge. However, he realized that he did not have the materials to finish. The people of the city were in abundance, and so he reached out to the city. However, due to their sickness, they did not help the bridge maker. They watched him building the bridge and dreamed of the day they would receive the medicine and ointment from the bridge that would be made. Day after day, the bridge maker labored, and day after day, the inhabitants of the city sat back and watched, yet none came to help the bridge maker. How ironic that I saw Malachi as we're reading this story, by the way. How crazy. Okay, one day, an angel came to the bridge maker and took him high into the heavens. He saw a court of justice speaking, and they told the bridge maker, the city was punished because it was wicked and selfish. They told the bridge maker that the sickness is their own doing, and if they changed their ways, the sickness would leave. They said if the people willed it, the bridge would be completed. This is the bridge to Yechidah. However, day after day, they watched you labor and happily await the benefit they will gain from your bridge. The angel brought the bridge maker back, and a giant storm came forward and destroyed the bridge. The people of that city fell into misery and eventually died. When they stood before the judgment, they cried and asked why such a tragedy fell upon them. They were told, a certain bridge maker labored to help you, but you didn't help him. You didn't even help him. He had no resources, and he labored for you, while you who had resources watched and awaited the benefit you would gain from his labor. At that moment, they realized their punishment was their own doing. They then saw the bridge maker in the highest heavens and desired to come near to him. They cried and said, remember me? You labored for me. But their words fell on deaf ears, as they could not ascend to where he was. In the end, they saw a pit, and they were cast into it. They were cast into it, and those who are like them are placed into the bed of sickness. Okay, that's powerful. That is a powerful musar. Anybody out there who's listening, there's 36 I see on the board. Help the bridge maker in any way you can. Get on his chat. Become a part of the community. Donate when you can, how much you can. Give him the supplies he needs to build the bridge to Yechidah. Yirah gets us to Yechidah. Back to the highest connection. And only he can do it. He's the only bridge maker we got. But he's doing good work. I'm optimistic. He's selfless. He works only for the light and for Hashem. Nothing for himself. And Rose. And Malachi. And the crew. Aleph and his boys and everybody who's there. I'm grateful that the community is growing. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful to bring my people, to merge my people with those people. It's a beautiful merger. May we see a time soon when the bridge is completed. He's working so hard. He has so many dreams. May they all come true in the highest way. And may we merit to see the Geula Shalema and Yirah Shalema in Yerushalayim. All of us together, celebrating in joy, Oneg, Simcha, Nachas. Where the light and divinity of Hashem is revealed in each other, through each other, on our faces, in our bodies, in the environment, everything around us. And may we enjoy the ride getting there. We saw the Super Bowl last night. Musk is making connectivity even faster, even more global. So by the time our bridge maker has everything he needs, all his supplies at hand, the timelines will merge seamlessly. All the efforts of Mashiach ben Yosef, Mashiach ben David, and the Raya Mehemana will meet that sweet, sweet moment of manifestation. And Hashem will restore the light that was lost, the light of the letters. We will have the confusion of our mind lifted. We will be lifted out of the confusion. And our thoughts will only be on Hashem and how we can help each other all day long. Have a great day, you guys. I'll see you back on Thursday. And we'll read more. And we have about 10 more pages. We're going to finish up, hopefully finish up the order of emanation. We'll get back to Likutei Yirah. Have a great day. Mwah.